Simon and the team. Today I am a man who loves driving, especially driving fast cars on circuits, and I am a multiple car racing champion.
Wow.
On the PlayStation.
Oh.
However, as a teenager in the 1970s, I found the whole learning to drive process particularly difficult. I'm one of those annoying people who is easily distracted and gets bored very quickly. So the idea of having to sit and concentrate for hours on end filled me with horror, as did the driving instructor I had. She was a particularly fierce lady who had no problem with shouting at her hapless students, and on one occasion actually threw the poor soul out of her car, abandoning him in the middle of a town 10 miles from where he lived with no means of getting home.
What? And they charged him for it, I bet.
So I approached each driving lesson with an increasing sensation of fear, loathing and anxiety.
Oh.
My instructor would arrive in her red Ford Fiesta and take me on a 2-hour journey filled with frustration, failed manoeuvres and outbursts of idiot, idiot, idiot boy! Idiot boy!
Oh, how encouraging, how encouraging.
One day I decided I'd had enough and pleaded with my parents to bring this torture to an end. OK, we lived in the heart of rural Kent and there was no train station and infrequent buses, but surely Mum and Dad could taxi me to and from my friends in Gravesend? Oh, apparently the answer to that is no. I was forced to endure, therefore, an alternative approach. On the morning of my next lesson, I decided to pretend I wasn't in when she came knocking at the door. The plan was idiot-proof. I was home alone, Mum and Dad at work, and Sister was at school. At the appointed hour, there came the familiar doorbell.
Oh, fantastic.
To announce her arrival. The plan kicked in.
Excellent.
I sat upstairs in my room. It's not much of a plan, actually. I sat upstairs in my room and ignored the doorbell.
Brilliant.
Ignored what?
It went again. Now, there is no one here, I'm saying to myself, so please get the message and leave.
Did she? No. No, she didn't. She's persistent, isn't she, this one?
You haven't heard that.
Oh, right, sorry. Haven't heard the sixth time. Yeah, okay.
Aren't some people's dogs really sensitive to this?
They are. They'll be hating it.
We are getting complaints right now.
After many bing-bongs, there was some blessed silence. But my reprieve was short-lived. Mark! I hear coming through the letterbox. Mark, it's Jean!
I know you're there.
Mark!
You're very good at this.
Please go away. I have forgotten you're here. I've gone out, is what I'm thinking. Anyway, it goes on and on. Then, quiet. Phew. My idiot-proof plan had worked. I was free. So I began to consider my options. What would I say to Mum and Dad? What would I tell her eventually? And then the house phone started ringing. This was before mobile phones. What to do? Do I answer it? It could be her. Little did I realise at the time that my tenacious instructor was indeed calling me from a neighbour's house.
A neighbour's house?
The neighbour's house. The phone stopped, the moment passed, and I was once again free.
Have we
free
not
to
got
plan
a phone sound effect?
the rest of my day.
Okay.
And I'm sitting in bed planning the rest of my day.
Like you do.
Oh, for goodness sake, leave me alone, woman! There's no one here! Get the message! I retreated to my room and sat on my bed, waiting for her to finally give up and go away. Then I heard an unusual sound. A thumping sound. It seemed to come from the wall of my house. I looked up to see the top of a wooden ladder.
No!
Unbelievable.
Placed against my window frame.
How did she...
And my bedroom window was open. I heard the steps of someone climbing the ladder towards my bedroom. I had a moment of panic. Would this woman go to any means to drag me out of the house? I made a snap decision and I hit the deck. Yes, my young mind decided that the best course of action was not to face up to my dishonesty, but to lie on the floor, face down. Then I heard a voice at my window.
Here we go.
Oh my God, I think he's dead. Call an ambulance. I sat up. But it was too late. She had found a passing window cleaner and asked him to explore the open bedroom window. The poor man had had the fright of his life, and the neighbour's phone was used to call an ambulance and my dad. Both arrived at the same time. My poor dad...
It's arrived.
That's why you're booked. My poor dad had rushed from work in South London in record time. He let the ambulance men, her, and the window cleaner into our house. Despite my protestations, I was strapped to a stretcher and carried down the stairs in front of a growing crowd and taken at speed to a local A&E unit. There I was stripped by a female nurse, the shame and ignominy, and given a full checkup. To this day, my mum and my dearly departed dad do not know the truth. It's not their forgiveness I seek, however, nor is it the forgiveness of you, the taxpayer, whose money I clearly wasted. I certainly don't seek forgiveness from her.
No.
who did actually eventually coax me through my driving test. No, Simon and team and listeners, it's the poor window cleaner. That innocent man, what must he have thought? Well, clearly, Mark, we know exactly what he thought, because he said, I think he's dead. So that's precisely what he thought. Anyway, who would have thought that? What a scary driving instructor. That's why we called it Enraha, because it's the only other scary driving instructor moment. I'd have definitely walked from then on. What do you think, Sister Rebecca?
She was persistent, wasn't
was
she? She was
scary.
like a baddie in one of those horror movies. They just never stop.
Like
you
the
know.
woman in Misery.
Yeah, exactly like the woman in Misery.
Yes,
yeah.
thank you very much.
But I do think that rather than just ignoring her and pretending he wasn't there, Mark could have been a bit cleverer and just asked his parents to book him in with another driving instructor.
I've got that.
Yeah, because I'm sure
Change
there were
instructor.
other driving instructors were available. So I think that was a bit.
I think the implication was
short-sighted of
rural
him.
Kent in the 1970s.
There was only Jean.
There was just.
Yeah.
Oi, Mark!
But you know,
I'm coming to get you.
anyone who calls the person they're teaching to drive an idiot boy repeatedly, I'm sorry, deserves it. So I'm forgiving you, Mark.
That's a very, very good point, Deadly.
Yeah, I forgive you on the basis that she was calling you that, idiot boy, and you were then paying her. You were paying her for these 2 hours instruction. And of course, you had to bear in mind that on that afternoon, or whenever it was, that she was trying to find you, she got the next 2 hours free anyway, because there was no other booking. How did she know which bedroom to find you in? It was what I first thought. But the one with the window open?
Yes.
Possibly. People do leave windows open, though, at height, for some unknown reason. But also, she sounded horrendous. So anyway, I sympathise and I forgive.
Thank you very much indeed, Brother Matthew.
I'm firmly in the camp of the driving instructor. I think she's
you can't be.
great. I love the idea that she's saying, idiot boy, when are you going to work out hill starts? Clutch control, come on!
You may think that, but you don't say
No, absolutely, I love it. I love it when people do it. I love the idea that somebody who's supposed to be guiding someone through something is clearly so badly suited to that job. But absolutely, and full marks for not being put off by no one answering the door or no one answering the phone. I'm going to send the window cleaner up to that, just on the off chance that